Imagine a world where books aren't sold in stores, where writers don't earn money from readers, and where being a writer isn't even a real job. Sounds strange, right? But for most of human history, that's exactly how it was. Today, we're going on a journey through time to meet the literate man. Not the modern author, but the ancient poet, the monk, the courtier. The people who wrote before there was a market for words. If this sounds fascinating to you, hit that like button. It really helps us reach more curious minds like yours. Before printing presses, before bestsellers, before Amazon, reading and writing were rare skills. Only a small elite, priests, nobles, scholars, could read. So literature wasn't made for everyone. It wasn't entertainment. It was power. It was memory. It was faith. And the people who wrote, they weren't authors like we think of today. They were soldiers, politicians, monks, or servants of kings. Writing was part of another job, never the main one. Take a second to think. If you lived back then, would you have been able to read or write? Let us know in the comments. We love reading your thoughts. In ancient Greece, the first writers were actually performers. They were called aoidos, or rhapsodes, poets who sang their words at banquets and public events. Their job? To keep the memory of heroes alive, to teach values, to speak truth to power. Success wasn't about book sales. It was about holding an audience's attention and earning respect in the community. Pretty different from today's influencers, right? Drop a thumbs up in the comments if you'd rather hear a poem at a dinner party than scroll through your feed. Fast forward to Rome. Under Emperor Augustus, everything changed. The state realized that culture was control, so Augustus created a system of patronage. He paid poets like Virgil and Horace, not for art's sake, but to spread his message. But freedom came at a price. Say the wrong thing, you could end up like Seneca or Lucan, brilliant minds, executed by Nero. In this world there was no free speech market, only the emperor's approval, or death. Would you trade your creative freedom for safety and fame? Tell us below. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of this series. After Rome fell, the church became the guardian of knowledge. Now the literate man was almost always a monk. His task? Copy books, by hand, for hours, days, years. This wasn't about creativity. It was about faithful repetition. Every letter mattered. Every copy was an act of devotion. Originality? Not valued. Obedience? Everything. Think about that next time you copy and paste something on your computer. If you're enjoying this deep dive into literary history, tap the notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop the next episode. Then came the Renaissance. Cities grew, wealth spread, and a new kind of writer appeared. The court intellectual. He served a prince or a duke. In exchange for food, shelter, and status, he wrote poems, plays, and treatises that made his patron look brilliant. But freedom was still limited. Art had to please the Lord. Then something new emerged. Academies. Groups of thinkers meeting to debate language, poetry, and ideas. Not for a king, but for knowledge itself. These were the first steps toward a literary community, a space where writers could be judged by peers, not just patrons. Sound familiar? Today's book clubs, writing groups, and online forums are the modern version of these academies. Share your favorite literary community in the comments. Without book sales, how did you know a writer was great? 4 ways. 1. Manuscripts. If your work was copied again and again, you mattered. 2. Imitation. If other writers copied, you were a classic. 3. Honors. Crowns, titles, invitations to elite circles. 4. Legacy. If your lines were quoted for centuries, you'd won. Success wasn't measured in dollars, but in memory. Which of these would matter most to you? Fame? Legacy? Creative freedom? Let us know. And if you're learning something new, share this video with a friend who loves books. Everything changed with the printing press, and the rise of a reading public willing to pay for stories. For the first time, a writer could speak directly to strangers. No king, no church, no patron, just a book and a reader. The literate man of old, servant of power, faith, or court, gave way to the author. Independent, professional, free. Or at least freer. So next time you pick up a novel, remember, writing wasn't always a career. It was a calling, a duty, a risk. And the voices that shaped our world often wrote not for fame, but because someone in power, or in heaven, asked them to. If you've made it this far, thank you. You're part of the community that keeps stories alive. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because history isn't just written, it's shared.